How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And right now, one of the biggest questions out there that has not been answered yet is, will Black Widow and other future Marvel movies go straight to Disney Plus's Premiere Access, or are we finally going to be getting a theatrical release for them? Now, we really don't have to worry about other movies such as The Eternals or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or Spider-Man 3. It's mainly just Black Widow that pretty much a lot of the fan base at this point in time right now are saying just release it on Disney Plus so we can at least see it. Yes, everybody believes that it deserves a theatrical release, but as of right now, we don't know if that will ever happen. Over the weekend, we got some news from Disney's CEO and Executive Vice President that lead us to believe that they may be considering releasing Black Widow on Disney Plus, and an announcement for it could be coming very soon. So I'll break down what they said, but first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Tony Stark Funko Pop. I'm picking a winner on Friday. And thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. More on them later on. So this past Thursday, Disney's new CEO, Bob Chapek, hinted to Wall Street analysts during an interview that Disney is set to get more aggressive in offering some new theatrical titles via Disney Plus paid download, as it did in September with Mulan and as it's about to do with Disney's Soul. With many of the US theaters shut down because of the coronavirus, Disney made Mulan available on Disney Plus for $29.99, launching on their video on demand service, which they called Premiere Access. And on Thursday, Bob Chapek said that there was enough traction with the Premiere Access release of Mulan to encourage them to do more in this vein. And then he said something that was very, very interesting. Now, there was a lot of controversy around Mulan about where they filmed the movie. The controversy happened after the release of Mulan on Disney Plus, and Bob Chapek acknowledged that the controversy did in fact hurt the film. And when he commented on it, he said, "We saw enough very positive results before that controversy started. We've got something there in terms of the Premiere Access strategy." And then he said that he has more details to come on December 10th when Disney holds an Investor Day presentation on its streaming strategy. Now, a lot of people are thinking that this could be the announcement of Black Widow coming to Disney Plus's Premiere Access. After all, very recently, Disney and Marvel Studios did say that they are taking the necessary precautions during this pandemic and the reshuffling of the schedule of Marvel's Phase 4 to make sure that the MCU keeps its continuity and everything flows, and to make sure that there are no spoilers with anything that comes out. Originally, Black Widow was supposed to be the first film released, followed by The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, The Eternals, Shang-Chi, and then WandaVision. But as of right now, WandaVision is going to be the first MCU Phase 4 project released in January of 2021, most likely followed by The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then Black Widow. So the order is off, but Marvel Studios assures us that they're going to make sure there are no spoilers. But as I mentioned, Marvel Studios Executive Vice President Victoria Alonso was recently asked in an interview about whether or not Black Widow is going to go to Disney Plus's Premiere Access or not, and she ended it on a very interesting note. But this is what she had to say in the interview. "It seems to me that our films are films for theatrical distribution. We always said that we believe in different formats, and it's very important to maintain the custom, the tradition of watching certain films in community. With Avengers Endgame, we did as usual. Every Friday before a movie comes out, we go to see it with people who had never seen it. If you see it with those 500 people, or the 1,000 people, or the 100 people who were in the cinema, what you feel when you see that movie with other people is something very different from what one can feel in the living room with the 4, 5, or 6 people who live in your house. So, whenever possible, and that is something that health measures allow us, we want our films to be seen in the cinema." Now, I think most would agree that if we had our preference, yes, we would see Black Widows in theaters, granted health measures allow us to. As Victoria Alonso mentioned, the experience is definitely way different and usually much better in the theater. However, it doesn't really seem like we have that option, and it doesn't really seem like we're going to have it anytime soon. States are having shutdowns again, and it seems like many more are about to join them as well. And that's where that last line of this interview comes in, where she said, "So whenever possible," and that is something something that health measures allow us, we want our films to be seen in the cinema. Well, right now, it doesn't seem like health measures are making it possible. It really doesn't seem possible right now that Black Widow can be released in theaters and actually perform well. And in fact, there's a lot of talk right now about Wonder Woman 1984 being released on HBO Max. And that is because Warner Brothers feels like it may perform better on HBO Max than in the theaters due to all the recent states that have had to shut down again. And as Bob Chapek said, Mulan performed very well even despite the controversy. And he said that they're going to talk about it more on December 10th during Investors Day, where we could be getting an announcement for Black Widow to be released on Disney Plus's Premier Access. And hopefully on Investors Day we'll be getting a little bit more than just talk about whether or not Black Widow is going to go on Premier Access. And I'll talk about that in just a second, but first, big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare has been my go-to this past year through the pandemic for learning new skills. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. I have personally used Skillshare to try and get better at YouTube. I've watched videos on Photoshop, how to edit better, and I've watched editorial videos on how to edit my videos better as well. And as I mentioned before, I've also been using it during quarantine to try and get better at guitar taking classes. I know a lot of people have asked me how to start a YouTube channel, how to get better at YouTube. Well, Skillshare is the perfect place to learn all of those things. And the great news is that the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click on this link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium so you can explore your creativity. And if you're not one of the first thousands, don't worry, it's only $10 a month with an annual subscription, so it's very, very affordable. If you're interested in YouTube classes, you can check out the teacher Sorel Amor. Just click the link in the description down below to get started. Now, we could be getting a Black Widow Disney Plus Premier Access announcement, but hopefully we might get a little bit of a teaser for what's to come to Disney Plus as well. Perhaps something like the teaser trailer for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, Disney has shown teaser trailers before at an Investors Day, and they have actually revealed titles before of new Marvel Studios Disney Plus projects. So hopefully on this Investors Day, we can get a little bit more information on what Marvel Studios is planning as far as Black Widow, and hopefully we can get at least a little bit of a teaser for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or something else that'll help us in this year where we got no new Marvel content the right way. And I'll be sure to keep you up to date on anything I hear, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. Thank you to HeroesHideout.com for providing the Tony Stark Funko Pop, and you can check them out for other awesome Marvel merch. Don't forget to like the video, and for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.